Hello, everyone. My name is Jennifer, and it is my pleasure to be presenting to you today at the Decolonizing Coaching Research Conference in Hamilton. Today, I'll be sharing with you the unspoken story of creative professionals in Lagos State, Nigeria. First, I'd like to say a big thank you to the conference team for having me. I would have loved to be in Hamilton with you today, but sadly, for circumstances beyond my control, I'm only able to present to you today via pre-recorded video. So my research that I'll be sharing with you today is on critical coaching factors that drive productivity in creative professionals. In the Nigerian creative industry, some of the key problems that is faced are issues of substandard output and low employee productivity. Literature has seen that there are various key productivity factors, but one of the key things that is also a productivity factor is training and development. Cue in life coaching, right? Life coaching is highlighted as a crucial management tool that is important and critical for improving employee development and productivity. However, in coaching literature, there are two distinct gaps that have occurred in literature that, spurred on this particular research. The first is the paucity of research of the impact of life coaching on employee and organizational performance. And then the next is the lack of studies that actually explore the mediating variables between coaching and performance itself. So this research aimed to address these gaps, to fill in those two gaps, focusing on the role of life coaching in improving productivity in the Nigerian creative industry context. Now, the conceptual framework is founded on several theories, but you can see that there are independent variables and then there are dependent variables. Two key independent variables. First is life coaching and the sub-factors, and then there are other factors grouped under as one context in themselves, other factors that affect productivity. For life coaching, there are three main sub-factors, subgroups that contribute to life coaching outcomes, which can affect productivity. The first is coach-related factors. From the standpoint of the coach themselves, the coach's competence, their capability, and then their capacity are key factors that contribute to life coaching outcomes. The next is coachee-related factors, which is the coachee's willingness and ability to be in that session and do the work to get the results. It talks about their efficacy, their belief in themselves to achieve the goal that they desire to achieve. Talk about who is sitting on the other end of the table. The last sub-coaching factor is coaching conditions, which focuses on the coaching relationship between the coach and the coachee, as well as the environment, talking about the safe space, the mental, physical, is it a safe space, is it quiet? All of the factors that contribute to the environmental factors all drum up to the subgroup of the coaching conditions. And for other factors that contribute to productivity or that affect productivity, literature has, shown us that other factors include the relationship of professionals with other colleagues, training programs set up by companies they work at, the educational qualification of these employees, the working conditions of the company they work at, the length of time they worked at the company, the intrinsic motivation they get from the company, as well as extrinsic motivation. Now, the objective of this research, this study aimed to assess the effectiveness of life coaching on creative professionals, on the productivity of creative professionals in the creative industry in the study area. Now, specific objectives were, one, to assess factors that contribute to life coaching effectiveness or life coaching outcomes in the creative industry in Lagos State, Nigeria. The second is to examine the factors that influence employee productivity in the study area. And finally, to evaluate the effect of life coaching related factors on employee productivity in the study area. Now, this research used a quasi-experimental post-test method to carry out the survey, to carry out the test, to weigh the impact and assess the effectiveness of the coaching factors that can impact creative professionals. Now, there was a control group as well as an experimental group, and the tools used were questionnaire survey, as well as one-on-one sessions, 4 one-on-one sessions for the experimental group, to bring in the intervention of life coaching, as well as using the T-GROW model of coaching and feedback. Now, the total sample population size was 179 creative professionals or employees in the study area from 3 creative firms in Lagos State. Purposive sampling was deployed, and at the end of the survey, when data was cleaned and corrected, coded and tabulated, the survey responses of 111 respondents was found to be useful for this study. Analysis was carried out using descriptive analysis, chi-square, as well as Z-tests at an alpha of 0.05. So the results, what was discovered from this research is that the coaching formats, the coachee efficacy, as well as coaching conditions had the most significant impact on productivity of the creative professionals that were coached and the non-coached participants as well, to see, of course, the coached participants, and then to see that, you know, what's really impacted the coached participants. It was coaching formats, coachee efficacy, and coaching conditions. While the coach's competence, the coach themselves, their competence did not have a significant impact on the productivity. As a non-coaching predictor of productivity, the most significant factor was the educational qualification of the participants who engaged in the coaching session. Now, between the experimental group and the control group, the experimental group showed significantly higher productivity than the control group, affirming the positive impact of life coaching. What this research showed us, what this research has told us as a story, is that life coaching does boost productivity, first thing, because we can see that the experimental group outperformed the control group significantly. Second, there is an untapped potential of life coaching in Lagos creative industry, in the Nigerian creative industry at large, which gives room for wider adoption and acceptance of life coaching and its impact on the productivity of our creative professionals. Finally, creative businesses, organizations, companies can integrate life coaching into their workflow to ensure that they drive innovation and performance when they embed life coaching as a system within their workflow. If you have any questions for me, or if there's anything you'd like to share with me as a result of this research, please feel free to send me an email at jakinkusote@gmail.com, and you can find other details, connect with me on LinkedIn, find my website, find other resources that I share when you scan the QR code at the top right corner of the poster shared with you. Thank you so much for having me, and I hope you do enjoy the rest of the conference and the rest of your stay in Hamilton. Take care.